Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad addressed the UN General Assembly. His speech was filled with the usual anti-American and anti-Israel rhetoric, leading to a walkout by the U.S. delegation. Israel's representatives were absent throughout Ahmadinejad's diatribe. IBA's Eli Wagalanter reports.
Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad sparked a walkout by diplomats at the United Nations last night as he used the podium of the UN's annual summit to accuse Israel of inhumane policies and of dominating world political and economic affairs. The awakening of nations and the expansion of freedom worldwide will no longer allow them to continue their hypocrisy and vicious attitudes, he said, without specifying Israel by name. How can one imagine that the inhumane policies in Palestine may continue? The Iranian leader said it was time for the world to respond, and some did immediately, getting up from their seats and walking out of the hall. The U.S. delegation led the walkout, which included France, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, Sweden, France, Costa Rica, Denmark, Hungary, the UK, Italy, and Germany. The Israeli and Canadian delegations stayed out of the assembly hall from the beginning. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said late last night that he did not attend Obama's address so as to not sit in the same hall with the president of Iran, who has denied the murder of 6 million Jews and has threatened the annihilation of 6 million more. The U.S. delegation later described Ahmadinejad's speech as hateful, offensive, anti-Semitic rhetoric. Speaking to a half-empty chamber, Ahmadinejad did not mention Tehran's standoff with Western powers over his nuclear ambitions, but he accused foreign forces of spreading war, bloodshed, aggression, terror, and intimidation in the Middle East, citing the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The West, meanwhile, tried to keep up the pressure on Iran's nuclear development.
We want to see a serious effort by Iran to discuss the nuclear issue, which we are putting on the table, as we have made clear in this statement. And we are also looking for Iran to recognize that they are at a turning point. They have a choice to make. We have consistently said that Iran is entitled to peaceful nuclear power. They are not entitled to a nuclear weapons program.
Meanwhile, outside the UN building, protesters demonstrated against Iran and against the elections that took place in June, calling them fraudulent. Eli Wagalanter, IBA News.
A Qassam rocket fired by terrorists from the northern Gaza Strip hit an open area in the western Negev this morning. There were no injuries, no damage caused by the rocket, which fell in the Eshkol Regional Council